Welcome to the Strategic Intelligence Briefing from the Circuit magazine. A vetting failure in London, a wave of kidnappings in Burgundy, and a maritime choke point sealed shut within 24 hours. These events share a common operational theme. In each case, established security controls flagged the specific risk that later materialized. This briefing examines the consequences of treating security flags as negotiable variables rather than hard constraints on executive action. In January 2025, UK security vetting recommended against granting a developed vetting clearance for Ambassador Peter Mandelson. Intelligence flagged his commercial history with Chinese-linked entities and a directorship at a Russian firm supplying Kremlin missile technology. The Foreign Office used a rare authority to override that recommendation. Mandelson took his Washington Post despite the explicit warning. This override remained hidden for 15 months. It collapsed only after the U.S. Department of Justice released emails detailing Mandelson's extensive correspondence with Jeffrey Epstein. Within a single week in April 2026, the Foreign Office's most senior civil servant was fired, the Prime Minister was forced to apologize to Parliament, and Mandelson was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The override did not mitigate the risk of foreign influence or reputational damage. It simply removed the paper trail of accountability until the exposure became public. Organizations use overrides to navigate complex edge cases in vetting or access control. Bypassing a finding makes rigid systems tractable, but a durable architecture requires the override to be a documented exception with named accountability and specific mitigations attached. In the Mandelson case, the override was an undocumented internal accommodation. Only a small number of officials were aware that the security control had been bypassed. Without a transparent audit trail, the vetting function is unable to constrain organizational risk. This pattern is materializing internationally. France has recorded 41 crypto-related kidnappings in early 2026, averaging one every 2.5 days. Following a hostage rescue in Burgundy, analysis shows attackers are not using complex cyber attacks. They are leveraging public signals, tax data, social media, and conference lists to identify targets for physical extortion. In the Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz was declared open on a Friday. By Saturday evening, the IRGC had reclosed the waterway and begun firing on commercial tankers. With the U.S. blockade in place, Iranian forces have abandoned diplomatic deconfliction, striking Indian vessels and forcing global logistics into day-to-day risk assessments. The commonality across these domains is the decision to proceed despite a clear warning flag. The control works. The failure occurs when an authority decides that the risk is a flexible variable rather than a hard stop. Audit the override architecture within your own organization. If your leadership cannot identify when an override was last used, who authorized it, and what mitigations were applied, your vetting function is likely decorative. For direct strategic intelligence, subscribe to the Circuit magazine.